Be'at Hashem. We're doing the Guemara-Berakhot Chav Zayin Amud Bet. Tanu Rabbanan Chachamim teach us. Maaseh betalmid echad sheba lifnei Rabbi Yehoshua. Bet HaMidrash is full of students, right? Yesh lecha shama 500 students, 1,000 students, everybody sitting around. There's big rabbis. But talmid echad, a young student came to Rabbi Yehoshua, and he's asking the following question. Amar lo, tfilat arvit, reshut o chova? להתפלל ערבית, זה optional? Means, if I want, I pray. If I don't want, I don't pray? Or, ערבית is obligation. Why do you ask about ערבית? What about shachrit? Shachrit is optional? No. Mincha is optional? No. Why ערבית is optional?
אין קורבן. אין קורבן.
אין קורבן, אבל יש את האיברים, the parts of the animal burns on the mizbeach. So the thing is like this. Avraham Avinu installed tefillah shachrit, נכון? Yitzchak Avinu, like it says, El hamakom asher amat sham batechila. He stands up in the morning, והולך לראות מה קרה עם סדום. He goes to see because the day before, he was praying about Sdom. Please Hashem, don't destroy Sdom. Maybe there's 50 tzaddikim, maybe there's 45, maybe there's 40, maybe there's 30, maybe there's 20, maybe there's 10. Okay? And then Hashem told him, Im timtza, if you find. Shavu, he doesn't know what happened, right? So he gets up in the morning, he goes there, El hamakom asher amat sham batechila. מה זה asher amat sham batechila? What does it mean to the place? The same place that he prayed to Hashem the night before, the day before, he goes to the same place to pray again. But as he gets there, he sees it's too late, Sodom is already destroyed. So when he was praying, what prayer he was doing? He was doing shachrit. Okay? Yitzchak, he sent Eliezer to find the wife, right? And it says, Lifnot Erev, towards the night, ויצא יצחק לסוח בשדה. לסוח comes from the word שיחה. לסוח זה לשיח, לדבר עם השם. Okay? As he goes and he starts praying mincha, he invents a new prayer. His father, Avraham, always prayed shachrit only. He comes and he installs a new prayer called mincha. Yafe. Yaakov, he has a choice now. Shachrit and mincha, or shachrit ve mincha. He runs away from his brother. He tries to kill him. He runs away. He goes to Haran. He comes back because he wants to pray Har HaMoriah. Ma koreh? Ki ba shemesh. Hashem makes the sun set before its time. Hu ratza litpalel mincha. He wanted to pray mincha. But all of a sudden, they're choshech. אתה לא יכול לעשות לא shachrit, you cannot do shachrit, you cannot do mincha. מה קרה? He was obligated to pray arvit. Now, did he come specially for that like Avraham and Yitzchak? No. He was forced into it. Since he was forced to a prayer that he didn't prepare for, so there is an opinion that says Arvit is optional. Okay? But Tosfot doesn't like this idea. Tosfot, which has the grandsons of Rashi, they say, Chassid. Tosfot says, never mincha arvit was a question of being optional. Okay?
From the Torah or not from the Torah?
Huh?
If you want, you take it. If you don't want, you don't take it?
Arvit, ken. That's the question. That's how we understand. That's how we understand. But Tosfot, they don't. One second. Tosfot don't understand like this. Tosfot, they want to say, you know what it means, Arvit, Reshut? If you have a mitzvah coming up, could you let go of Arvit to go to do the mitzvah? Or you're obligated to first pray Arvit and then do the mitzvah? That's the question, optional. Optional does not mean if I want, I do Arvit, if I don't want, I don't. That was not ever the question, says Tosfot. They say Arvit is always obligation. Just if it clashes with another mitzvah, the question is, what do I do? Can I let go of Arvit even though you're going to lose it? You might lose it the whole night. but I am doing another mitzvah. Or I'm obligated first to do Arvit, Amidah, and then do the mitzvah. That was the question according to Tosfot. So there was never a question of Arvit Reshut. Okay? But this student comes, and he's asking Rabbi Yeshua, תגיד לי, Rabbi Yeshua, Arvit, חובה או רשות? Is it obligation? It's optional? אמר לי, so he told him, רשות. It's optional. So אמר לי, רשות. בא לפני רבן גמליאל. So this student was not very happy, and he came to Rabban Gamliel, and he's asking Rabban Gamliel, Rabbeinu. Rabban Gamliel is like the head of the yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva, the head of Eretz Israel. He's asking Rabban Gamliel the second time. He told them, Rabban Gamliel, תפילת ערבית, רשות או חובה?
זו שאלה שלי. מותר ללכת, שאלת רב, פתאום לקפוץ לרב?
יפה מאוד, good question. This is one question out of 10 questions that you can ask over here. But keep your question. Keep your question. It's a very good question. Keep your question. When you go to ask a rabbi, are you allowed to go ask another rabbi? No. What? He told you reshut, so what do you want? What do you want? מה אתה רוצה? אתה לא מבסוט? אז תעשה חובה, do it חובה. Why are you asking רבן גמליאל now?
Double opinion.
Double opinion. So he asked רבן גמליאל, אמר לו תפילת ערבית רשות או חובה? אמר לו חובה. אמר לו. So he told him. Now he starts with לשון הרע. אמר לו, והלא רבי יהושע אמר לי רשות. תגיד לי, מותר להגיד דבר כזה? Are you allowed to say such a thing? This rabbi told me reshut. Rabbi Yeshua, your student told me reshut. Why not? Ya habibi. You asked the first rabbi, Rabbi Yeshua, I told you reshut. Go. No, you go ask now the chief, the head. You ask Rabban Gamliel. Okay, he told you chova. Go away. What are you doing now? You're doing machloket. You're going to see a big machloket now. You tell, oh, but he told me it's optional. But he's the student. So Rabban Gamliel says, Amar le, you know what? Wait. עד שיכנסו בעלי תריסין לבית המדרש. Wait till the big students, the learned, the big learned students come. When שיכנסו בעלי תריסים, when they came, עמד השואל, again, he stood up ושאל, ערבית, רשות או חובה? is it רשות או חובה? אמר לרבן גמליאל, חובה? אמר להם רבן גמליאל, so רבן גמליאל asked the question publicly to all the חכמים, כלום יש אדם שחולק בדבר. Does anybody over here disagree with me? רבן גמליאל says it's obligation to pray ערבית. But is anybody over here disagrees with me? No one stood up. So אמר לו, so he told רבי יהושע, ולא, אמר לרבי יהושע, אמר לרבי יהושע, סליחה, אמר לרבי יהושע לאו. So רבי יהושע says, no, we agree with you, Rabbi, whatever you say goes. אמר לו, ומשמך אמרו לי רשות, but you just told me, you said it's optional, so you lying? אתה משקר עכשיו? מה זה עוד שאלה? הוא מבייש אותו ברבים. He's embarrassed in public. Are you allowed to embarrass publicly? He said, no, you're right. So what did he say? Liar. You said it's optional. How can you do that? Question number? Hello. Three. First question you asked is what? Are you allowed to ask two rabbis? Right. Second question was what? Are you allowed to do machloket? Are you allowed to make a disagreement between the rabbis? Right? Third question is what? Are you allowed to embarrass a student in class? Right? Yafeh. We continue. So, the question was, Arvit is reshut, is optional or obligation? We told him it's obligation. Rabbi Yeshua said it's optional. Rabban Gamliel makes him stand up. אמר לו עמוד, רבי יהושע, עמוד על רגליך, stand up in front of everybody ויעידו בך. I want the student to testify against you, to say that you said it's optional. Why? What? Yes, 500 people over there. Okay, so you made a mistake, come on. He made a mistake. He said Arvit is optional. So you don't agree, okay? Why you make him stand? Why make him embarrassed in front of everybody? Say, hey, yalla, nigmar. You're the rabbi. You said it's chova. You said it's obligation. That's it. Let's stop right there. No, Amod. You have to stand on your feet. V'yahidu becha. I want to testify against you. Amad Rabbi Yoshua al raglav. Rabbi Yoshua stands and says, look what he says. Look what he says. Ilmane ani chai. V'hu met. Okay? יכול החי להכחיש את המת. If I'll be alive and this student dead, I could have lied. אבל עכשיו, but now, okay? That I'm alive, שאני חי והוא חי, I'm alive and he's alive, איך, כן? How can I, איך יכול החי להכחיש את החי? How can a living person contradict a living person? What he said is right. Means he wanted to lie. He said, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But now that the student is right there, how can I lie? He's in front of me. I'm going to lie in his face. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Wow. You cannot get out of it. Omer lo ta'amod. He's going to testify against you. Oh yeah, I'll be there, maybe I'll be able to lie, but I have no way out of it. I have no way out of it. What's going on over here? Namshich, continue. He says, היה רבן גמליאל יושב ודורש, ורבי יהושע עומד על רגליו. So Rabban Gamliel just ignored the situation. He made him stand up, and he continues his class. אתה יודע כמה זה שיעור של רבן גמליאל? 5, 6, 7 hours. בלי להפסיק. No break, no coffee, no tea, no water. You just sit and you listen to Rabban Gamliel, and you go through, and you go through, and you go through. And Rabbi Yoshua is not a little kid. He's an older man. He should be around the 60s, 70s. And he makes him stand up. He doesn't tell him to sit down. He says, okay, let's close up the case. Let's close. Yalla, no, yalla, shift. Okay, yalla, בסדר. פעם הבאה, next time, don't do that. No. הוא מעמיד אותו. Ignores him. Stay up. תישאר, עומד. So, the students got upset. All the big students, all the talmidim, they got upset. They said, אמרו, עד שרננו כל העם, ואמרו לחוצפית התורגמן, עמוד, ועמד. In the olden days, the way the class was given, it was not like, אתה לא מדבר ישירות עם הרב. You're not speaking directly to the rabbi. There is a מתורגמן, there is a translator. So basically, if you want to ask a question, you don't ask the rabbi. You ask the translator, which gives it over to the rabbi. And when the rabbi gives an answer, the rabbi speaks to the translator, which gives over to the students. So everybody gathered, all the talmidim, all the students, all the rabbis gathered, and they told, who is the students? Rabbi Chutzpit HaMeturgeman, which was one of the 10 martyrs that the Romans killed. They told him, stop translating. We don't want to hear anymore. We don't want to hear the class. Stop. You stop translating. It's too much of an embarrassment. It's too much of an embarrassment. It's not nice what he's doing. So they told him to stop. Amad, okay? And they said, Amri, they said, Ad kaman etzareh v'nizil. How much can he go and make him feel bad? Berosh Hashanah ishtakad. And is it the first time? Last Rosh Hashanah, he did the same thing to the same person. Rabban Gamliel to Rabbi Yoshua embarrassed him again. Tzareh b'bchorot. Over there, there was a story, right? There was a story about the Bechor, an animal which is a Bechor. Are you allowed to eat it? Not allowed to eat it? Are you allowed to redeem it? Not to redeem it? And Rabbi Yeshua said one answer. Rabban Gamliel said another answer. And because he said differently than him, he made him stand up for a few hours. So they said, it's the second time. How can he do that? What? Every time he's not going to be... What's Torah? Torah, you're allowed to have your opinion. Okay, he's the rabbi. So he's going to tell you the final decision, right? but you're allowed to your opinion, you're allowed to say what you think.
מישהו מבייש חברו ברבים.
יפה. זה לא רק, זה וגם עשה מחלוקת שם, רבי יהושע ורבן גמליאל. כל זה התלמיד. All this is the Talmid. We're going to see at the end who is this Talmid. Who is this precious Talmid that did this all balagan. נמשיך. We continue. So, הכנה מנצערי, תא ונעברי. That's it. We are denominating him. We're taking off his title. He's not going to be our rabbi anymore. You're talking about Rabban Gamliel. Father to son, 8 generations of big rabbis. Chief rabbi. Rabban Gamliel, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. 8 generation Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. So now they're going to take off his title. They're going to tell him, you're not the chief rabbi anymore. Okay? They said, Na'abre, we'll take him away. But we need right away to find a replacement. Man Nokme, who's going to be replacing him? So, no, Rabbi Yehoshua. Rabbi Yehoshua. Let's make him the chief rabbi. No, you can't. Baal Ma'asehu. You cannot put him because then you're going to make Rabban Gamliel feel bad. Okay, exactly. You have to understand something. As much as you don't like a situation, as much as you don't like something what a person did, but you cannot overgo things. Which means, normally you should say, oh, Rabbi Yehoshua is the next candidate, right? No. You know why? It's good enough that we took off the title from Rabban Gamliel. You want to go overboard and nominate the one he argued with? You know what embarrassment? You know what bad feeling he's going to have? Oh, what do you mean? Who cares? But he made them feel bad. Because he did, you have to do the same thing. Okay? Because he did, you don't have to act like this. You have to act the right way. So not because he did, I do. אין דבר כזה, הוא עשה אז אני אעשה לו. Come on, it's not a revenge, right? So they say, it's not the right thing to put Rabbi Yehoshua. אז נחפש מישהו אחר. Let's look for somebody else. Who they looked for? נוקמה, כן? Let's put Rabbi Akiva. Do you have anybody with Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva, that Moshe Rabbeinu said, wow, why he didn't give the Torah to him? He should bring the Torah to Israel. No, you can't. Dilma Anishle, Deletle Schut Avot. Rabbi Akiva, his father was not a rabbi. He didn't have enough of merits. He has his own merits, but he doesn't have his ancestors' merits. You know what's going to be? If Rabban Gamliel gets upset on him and he curses him, he doesn't have enough merit to withstand the curse. So we have to think about it. We cannot let them nominate Rabbi Akiva, because if Rabban Gamliel says something, Rabbi Akiva is going to suffer the consequences. Why? Because Rabbi Akiva, his ancestors were not rabbis. As Rabban Gamliel, generation after generation of rabbis. No. So Rabbi Akiva is not a candidate either. As much as he's chacham, as much as he's very wise, but he has to withstand. We have to think all possibilities. We don't know what Rabban Gamliel's reaction going to be. You don't know what's his reaction going to be. So we have to watch Rabbi Akiva. We cannot put him in danger. So let's go next. Rabbi Ela Nokmeh לרבי אלעזר בן עזריה. רבי אלעזר בן עזריה. והוא, שהוא חכם, first he's wise, הוא עשיר, he's rich, והוא עשירי לעזרא. He's the 10th generation of Ezra Sofer that brought us back from Babylon. So he has all the qualities. He's very wise, so he can replace him. Means he's knowledgeable. He is rich. So the Gemara says, what do you need rich? Because if Rabban Gamliel intends to go to the Romans and tell them, oh, look what they did to me. They took me off my job and they put this, right? Everything works with bribery, understand? You go to the Romans, everything works with money, right? If it's bribery, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah is rich enough to counterbalance the bribery. In case, we don't know. Now they're thinking about any possibility that Rabban Gamliel might use. He might use nothing. But we have to be prepared.
It's just because he wants to be the president
No.
now.
Why does he have to be rich?
Because he can talk to the governor.
The governor, which is the Roman governor.
The Roman government.
Right.
So just because his position as a president, he has that connection.
No. So you have to understand, when they name a rabbi, there was a story in Ta'anit. Rabban Yochanan, he was poor to the point he didn't have bread to eat. He left Israel. He met the Malach on the way. He came back to Israel. Right? When he came back to Israel, the Rosh Yeshiva of Israel died. They said, who? Oh, Rabbi Yochanan. They nominated Rabbi Yochanan, but since he was poor, right away they made him rich. They give him enough money to be rich, so he's not influenced by anybody. So it's not a question to be rich, because even if he's not rich, they're going to make him rich. But over here, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was rich enough. He didn't need people to make him rich. He was rich enough. After that, they said, what? Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah doesn't have yichus, maybe he's going to curse him? He is the great son, 10 generations of Ezra Sofer. He has enough merits to protect himself. So the end...
למה כהן גדול צריך להיות עשיר?
מה זה?
כהן גדול.
גם צריך להיות עשיר.
למה?
והכהן הגדול מאחיו, תעשירהו מאחיו. So he shouldn't be influenced by nobody. ולא יהיה, הוא רואה מישהו, the כהן גדול see something, could you give me this? לא! אוי, מחשימך וזירך. הוא לא צריך אף אחד. He has money, he doesn't need anybody. You understand? When somebody is rich, he doesn't need anybody, he doesn't need favors.
אפשר לשחד,
ולא לשחד אותו. תעשה לי טובה. Well, you know, when you go Kippur to Bet HaMikdash, I want my wife to give birth to a baby boy. אז תהיה שם, תתפלל. בוא'נה. There is 15 million people outside waiting for the Kohen Gadol, ואתה משחד אותו, you give him money to pray for Bet HaMikdash. אין שוחד. ולא שוחד, ולא משוא פנים, ולא מיתה. Says over here the Gemara, so they decided to nominate Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Says the Gemara like this. U Chacham, Dei Makshile, because if Rabban Gamliel decides to ask him questions, hard questions, Mefarekle, he would know to answer. Hu Ashir, he's rich. Di Itle le Paluche le Bekesar, because if he has to pay something to the Caesar's house, Afu Azal u Palach, u Azal Palach. Huh? Yeah, if he goes
He
to...
got the quality of rich, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, no.
The quality of rich, so he can negotiation with the Roman. Not because he's afraid that he has nekama from Rabbi Gamliel that he is the president.
לא, הוא גם בא ממשפחה.
יפה, אבל הוא יכול גם לתת כסף שם ולהוריד אותו. הוא יכול לתת כסף ולהוריד אותו.
אני חושב שזה, הם מנסים עכשיו, אני חושב שהגמרא מנסים שבגלל שהוא עשיר, אז קיסר, הוא עזר בפניו.
אז מה?
במקרה שהוא רוצה לנגושיישן עם הקיסר שלומי, אז הוא יכול לעשות את זה כי הוא עשיר. אבל לא קשור לרבי גמליאל שיכול...
יפה, זה פירוש אחד, אבל לא, זה פירוש יפה. קראת את זה בארץ כבר, נכון? יפה, אבל there's another explanation. The explanation is you wouldn't be able to go and say, you know, he's not worthy, and I used to give you money. He's also able to do. Okay. There's 70 pirushim. It's 2 out of 70. So you have 68 more to go till next week. He says over here, זכות אבות ולא ואיתלה זכות אבות. He has merits of his ancestors, ולא מציא עניש לה, and he won't be able to curse him or punish him. טוב, עטו אמרו לה, they came and told רבי אלעזר בן עזריה, ניחא למר דלברש מטיפתא, do you want to be the Rosh Yeshiva? אמר להו, he said to them, אזיל ואמליך באנשי ביתי. It's a big honor, but I have to ask my wife, because this is a big responsibility. I won't be able to be in the house so much. I won't be able to help my wife to feed the children, bathe them, give them to eat, send the kids to school, you know. Big responsibility. בוא נראה מה אשתי אומרת, let's see my wife says. בדיוק, לא! Oh, wow! Yes! No. I'm going first to... זה מה שאמרנו שבוע שעבר, כן? תבקש עצה. תמיד ask advice. What does it mean? על מה התרגז יעקב? Why did Yaakov get upset on Shimon ולוי? After they went and they did nekama, they went to revenge their sister's honor, that their abuser, right? They went to revenge and they killed all those people, right? Why did Yaakov get upset? כן? מה זה בושה? בונה, זה אחות שלהם. It's their sister. They dishonored her. They deserve to revenge. רש"י מגלה, אתה יודע מה רש"י אומר? יעקב אומר, למה לא שאלתם עצה? למה הלכתם לבד? Why did you go by yourself? Didn't you have the obligation to come, I'm your father, and tell me, Abba, let us clean the situation, אנחנו נלך, נעניש אותם, ואני אגיד לכם, and I'll tell you yes or no. אבל הם הלכו, between them, יאללה, שמעון, לוי, יאללה. מה זה?
כמה הם היו?
בני 13. They were 13 years old. אז הם הולכים, they're going to kill 24,000 people. Says Yaakov, אני אבא שלכם. I'm your father. You don't think you have to ask me? Now, what's going to happen, he says, all the חתי והאמורי והכנעני והיבוסי והגיגשי יבוא עליי, ואני מתה מעט. What? I'm a small family, 12 kids. Why are you going to deal with all those people? You know? You should have asked me. I could have said yes, I could have said no, I don't know. But why didn't you ask advice? מה אתה רואה? תמיד תשאל עצה. תראה, look, הקדוש ברוך הוא, when he was about to create man on the sixth day, he told the angels, אומר למלאכים, נעשה אדם בצלמנו כדמותנו. Do you think we should make mankind? Do you think she will create a mankind? So, הקדוש ברוך הוא, בא המלאכים, אחד אומר, אמת, המלאך של האמת, angel of truth, לא, 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 זה יהיה שקרן, he's a liar, מה אתה תקבל? בא המלאך צדק, צדק, he says, no, but it's good, you know, people do צדקה, people help, חסד, כן? מה עושה הקדוש ברוך הוא? הקדוש ברוך הוא אומר, אוקיי, continue discussing. So the malachim, he says yes, he says no, he says, מה עושה הקדוש ברוך הוא? He creates man. ויעש השם אלוקים את האדם. He made man. He says, Rashi, I don't understand. You just ask the angels. Some say yes, some say no. Make a vote. Okay? Why you ask them? ללמד אותך, to teach you, as much as you're great, always ask advice. Do whatever you want at the end. But ask advice. You understand? אפילו השם מלמד אותנו, השם is teaching us, נמלך במלאכים. מה אתם אומרים? זה אומר כן, זה אומר לא, אני אעשה מה אני רוצה. אבל אני שאלתי עצה. זה נקרא ענווה. It's called humbleness. You know? אז פה, מה הוא אומר? instead of רבי אלעזר בן עזר, wow, thank you very much thinking about me. Yes, yes. לא, 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 לא. אמלך, let me go ask my wife. אני אגיד לה, תשמעי, ברוך השם, תראי מה קרה. רוצים שאני... תשמעו את העצה שאמרה לו אשתו. Listen what his wife told him. His wife told him, אמרה לה, דילמה מעבירים לך. What do you need it? תראה מה עשו לרבן גמליאל, שאבא שלו, והסבא שלו, והסבא של הסבא שלו, והסבא של הסבא שלו, they were big rabbis, and one day they decided to take him off. One day they're going to take you off. Why do you need it? You know how bad Rabban Gamliel feels now that he was denominated, right? What? Amar la, so he told her, according to his opinion, להשתמש אינש יומה חדה בכסה דמוקרא, ולמחר לדבר. Somebody give you a crystal cup, okay? ואתה אומר, I should not use it because it might break. First use it, and if it breaks, it breaks. But at least you used it. אז הוא אמר לה, let me become the big rabbi, the chief rabbi, the Rosh Yeshiva. And whatever is going to happen later is going to happen. But b'intayim, I enjoy the title. So his wife said no, and he says yes. What did he do? Yes. But at least he asked. Bikesh etzah, he asked advice from his wife. Okay? Oh, Ahu Yomah. That day that everything happened, says the Gemara, he was only... רגע, ההוא יאמר בר 18 שנה עבר. He was only 18 years old. How old is Rabban Gamliel? Maybe 80. He's 18. How can you replace Rav Mechubad, a big rabbi, chief rabbi, old rabbi, a lot of experience? How can you exchange him with the 18 years old? אתה מבין? זה לא, כאילו. עכשיו, and he was all black. He was completely black. אז אתה לוקח אחד עם זקן לבן וזה מכובד, היבה, אנדול היבה, כן? ואתה מביא לו אחד בן 18 ככה עם זקן שחור, כזה נראה צעיר כזה. People are not going to respect him just by the looks. He might be, the Gemara says he was חכם, but by the looks, you know, people are not going to give him חשיבות. Says the Gemara מן השמיים, they took care of it. עדרו לתמנה 10 דרי חיוורתה. At night he went to sleep, in the morning 18 rows of white hair, of white stripes. So he had black hair, black beard, with white and white and white and stripes, 18 stripes. אז הוא נראה כזה צעיר זקן. You know? כי הוא היה בן חי. He was 18. אומרת הגמרא, וזה מה שאנחנו אומרים בפסח. This is what we say בפסח. היינו דקאמר, רבי אלעזר בן עזריה, הרי אני כבן 70 שנה ולא בן 70 שנה. הרי אני כבן 70 שנה. I look like 70 years old, but I'm not, I'm only 18. על זה נאמר בהגדה של פסח. זה מפה לקחנו את זה. כן? What happened? You remember in the הגדה של פסח, what happened over there that he said that? What happened over there? He was trying to prove, כן? They were trying to prove, do you have to say the last part of Shema in Arvit? When you say Arvit and you say Shema, do you have to say, ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור, דבר בני ישראל, אמרת להם, ועשו להם ציצית, על כף מגדלותם, ונתנו להם ציצית, הכנף. Do you have to say this part? Because at night you don't put tzitzit. So some rabbis said you do not, the rabbis said you do not have to put, you know, do not have to say it because you don't put tzitzit at night. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was in the opinion you do have to say it because it's part of Shema. But he could not prove it. So he says, הרי אני כבן 70 שנה, ולא זכיתי, I didn't have the merit, שתאמר יציאת מצרים בלילות. מה זה יציאת מצרים? At the end of the parasha of ציצית, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. שמה ביציאת מצרים, this mitzvah is side by day, side by night. This is the key, this is the answer. אבל הוא לא חשב על זה. אז הוא אמר, לא זכיתי שתאמר יציאת מצרים בלילות. עד שדרשה, מי אמר את זה? החבר שלו, מי אמר את זה? בן זומא. בן זומא אמר לו, אבל כתוב, למען אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, זה. I missed the proof. אני כבן 70 שנה ולא זכיתי. אבל באותו יום, that day they nominated him, אתה יודע כמה הלכות למדו באותו יום? They went through a lot of הלכות, they wanted to check over a lot of הלכות, יציאת מצרים בלילות, a lot of things they checked that day. This is one of the things they checked. ערבית is חובה ראשון. Now, טוב, listen, the story is not finished. Look, listen what happened. He says, אותו היום, תנא, אותו היום, that day that he was nominated the chief rabbi, סילקוהו לשומר הפתח וניתנה להם רשות לתלמידים להיכנס. They moved the guardian from the door and they told anybody that the student can come in. Why? שהיה רבן גמליאל מכריז ואומר, רבן גמליאל announced, כל תלמיד שאין תוכו כברו לא ייכנס לבית המדרש. If you don't feel that your inside is like your outside, what you represent on the outside, this is exactly what you're inside, don't come in. A lot of students didn't come in. How can I know that I'm truthful? How can I know that my inside is like my outside, or my outside like me? I don't know. So a lot of people didn't come in. The first thing Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah did, he says, one second. לפני שמתחילים ללמוד תורה, before we started Torah, let's bring a lot of students in. אומר לגרדיאן, כמה אנחנו חייבים לך? How much money we have to pay you? Oh, you owe me for the month. יאללה, קח for the month. Off. Get out of here. כל דכפין יתה ויכול. מי שרוצה להיכנס. Listen to how many students came now. It says over here. וההוא יומא, that day, התאספו כמה ספסלי. There was a lot of benches that were added to the בית מדרש. אמר רבי יוחנן, פליגי בה. אבא יוסף בן דוסטאי, there's a מחלוקת between אבא יוסף בן דוסטאי ורבנן החכמים. אחד אמר, one of them said, התאספו 400 ספסלי. One of them says, 400 benches were added to the בית מדרש. ואחד אמר, Sheva me'a safsaleh. 700 benches. Tell me, what's the average of people they can put on a bench? Come on. Bench, between 6 to 8. 6 to 8. בוא ניקח the least. Let's take the minimum. 6. 6 times, the first opinion says, 400. So how many students come in? 2,400. And the second opinion says, okay, 700. 6 times 700, 4,200. אתה יודע, זה כמעט 5,000 תלמידים שבאו באותו יום. איך באו 5,000 תלמידים מכל, from the whole city. Wow, they took off the guardian. באו. הוסיפו שאלה, תוסיף. אתה מתאר לעצמך מה זה?
What city was this?
Huh?
Where is this? In Babylon?
לא, זה לא, בישראל.
יבנה זה בישראל.
ביבנה, בישראל. מה אמרת בבילון?
יבנה.
בסדר, שמענו, לא שמעת. תדבר. כן? אתה מתאר לעצמך 4,200, 4,200 students. מה קרה עכשיו? רבן גמליאל הרגיש לא טוב עם זה. למה? הוא אמר, מה? אבק החלש דעתי דרבן גמליאל אמר, דילמה חס ושלום, מנעתי תורה מישראל? You want to tell me I stopped 4,200 students to learn Torah? וזה לא יום אחד, זה לא יומיים. It's few years. All the students never came. So all those students, I locked them up in their houses and they were not able to come to Beit HaMidrash to study Torah. You know what a disappointment is this? So forget about they took him off. That's not זה אכפת לו על התורה. He cares about the Torah. Says the Gemara, he went to sleep that night. אחזו לה בחלמה, in his dream they showed him, חץ בי חיברי דמליין כתמה. They showed him like jars full of earth to tell him, those students, it's better they should not have came. They don't know to study Torah, so he didn't stop anybody from studying Torah. הם לא היו ראויים ללמוד תורה, כן? אבל, but, the Gemara says, velohi, and it's not true. Those students were learned students, very wise students. They just did it mishamayim, כן? ליוטווה דעתה. הוא דאחזולה. מן השמיים, they had pity on Rabban Gamliel, because he could have gone crazy about this. He could have lose his mind. Ma? For all those years, 4,000 students, 200 that didn't learn Torah because of me. אז מן השמיים, they showed them, תדאג, לא שווים, they were not, אבל זה לא נכון. That was real students. That was students that were not able to come study because he put the guard there. But מן השמיים, they had pity on Rabban Gamliel. Okay? Now the Gemara says, the Gemara continues by saying, that day something happened, Bet HaMidrash, that Tana, Eduyot, Bo Bayom Nishnet. You know in Shas, there is Brachot, Shabbat, Eruvim, Ta'anit, there is Gitin, Kiddushin, there is Chulin, Menachot. One of the books of the 63 books of Shas is Eduyot. Eduyot is testimonies. Testimonies is, they gathered, Ravina and Rav Ashi, the one that compiled the Talmud, they gathered testimonies of rabbis. A lot of halachot, we didn't have documentation, nothing was written. So the rabbis, Chashuvim, very important rabbis came, and they says, אני שמעתי מהרב הזה והזה, big rabbi, ככה וככה. תרשום, write it. ההוא בא, אני שמעתי מהרב. You have 4,000 students.
במשקלם.
עצומים. So they compiled all the testimonies, they put it into halachot, and they put a book of Talmud called Eduyot, the testimonial book. The testimonial book, Eduyot, was written the day that Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah was nominated. הוא אמר עכשיו that we're all together now, that all the rabbis came from all over, now each one say halacha that we don't know, and we're going to write it down. We're going to discuss it and write it down. So he says, Eduyot, Masechet Eduyot, Bo Bayom Nishnet. It was learned and written that day. Vekol Echad Amrinan. Wherever you're going to learn Talmud, any Gemara that you're going to learn, and you're going to see the words in the Talmud saying, Bo Bayom, at that day, it refers Ahu Yoma, it refers the day of Rabbi Lazar ben Azariah becoming the chief rabbi. Velo הייתה הלכה שהייתה תלויה בית המדרש. They didn't leave any halacha in suspense, any doubt that they had, they resolved at that day. Wow, איזה יום זה היה? אתה יודע איזה יום ארוך זה היה? You know how long of a day it was? How many hours they sat there? 12, 13, 15, 18, 20 hours? How many minutes? They didn't leave any halacha in suspense. They discussed and discussed and discussed till they wrote the whole questionable halachot. Says the Gemara, but the beauty of it, you know what's the beauty of it? It says, Ve'af Rabban Gamliel lo mana atzmo mi bet midrash afilu sha'ah achat. Even Rabban Gamliel, you think he got upset and he left and he didn't come? That's it, I take my talit, I take my tefillin. Why you go? Hi, ma kara? Why? You didn't see what he tell me? He tell me I'm not supposed to sit here. סבח אללה. איך תשב שם? לא, I don't come to the synagogue anymore. That's it. מתחיל לעשות בלגן בשבת. מה קרה? וואלה. זהו, אני לא דתי. I'm not religious anymore. איזה עצבים. רבן גמליאל, with all what he saw now, they took him off, they took off the guard, 4,000. מה הוא עשה? המשיך לבוא כמו רגיל. I'm like everybody. לא התרגז, he didn't get upset, לא אמר להם למה. המשיך לבוא, אני רוצה ללמוד תורה. I want to study Torah. ממשיך, he continues. זה הגדולה. That's the greatness. שהוא לא אתה לא רואה שהוא התעצבן וכעס וקילל, שום דבר. החלטתם? You decided? אני כמוכם, יאללה. אז גם אני רוצה לשמוע תורה. I want to listen to Torah. I want to continue being part of it. בו ביום, at that day, בא יהודה גר עמוני לפניהם. There was a convert called Yehuda. He was from the city of Ammon. Ammon is on the east side of the Jordan. So he came from there. רגע, didn't Torah say, לא יבוא עמוני ומואבי בקהל השם. עכשיו הוא גר. He converted. אבל רגע, בכלל, are you really converted? הוא בא, he came, and he asked the question in front of all the rabbis. Rabbis, מה קורה פה? I'm from Ammon, but מה קורה? So he told them, תשמעו את זה, זה יפה. He came, עמד לפניהם בבית המדרש, אמר להם, מה אני לבוא בקהל? Can I be Jewish? אמר לו רבן גמליאל, אסור אתה לבוא בקהל. You cannot be Jewish because you're from Ammon. You're not allowed to be Jewish. כן? אמר לו רבי יהושע, עכשיו רבי יהושע יש לו כוח. עכשיו אני הרב. I'm the rabbi. אמר לו, מותר אתה לבוא בקהל. You could convert, you could be Jewish, you could be part of us. איך? כתוב בתורה בפירוש. אמר לו, רבן גמליאל, ולא כבר נאמר, it says in the Torah, לא יבוא עמוני ומואבי בקהל אדוני. אמר לו רבי יהושע, וכי עמון ומואב במקומם יושבים? Is it really Ammon? The nation sitting in Ammon over there, it's really Ammon? The people sitting in Moab, it's really Moab? It says, the Gemara says, כבר עלה סנחריב מלך אשור ובלבל את כל האומות, שנאמר, ואסיר גבולות עמים ועתידותיהם, שוסתי והוריד כאביר יושבים. היה אחד, קוראים לו סנחריב. מה הוא עשה? He started to conquer the Middle East. לקח את כולם, he took everybody, and he started to change. He took Ammon, he placed him in Lebanon. He took Lebanon, he placed him on. לקח את זה, he put him here in Egypt. לקח את Egypt, שם אותו בסיריה. שם סיריה, שם אותו. He mixed everybody. Why? He want everybody to be strangers, right? Forasteros, as they say. כן? כן. כן. מה קרה? איך אתה אומר רבן גמליאל that he is Ammoni? He's not Ammoni. Because Sancheriv came before and switched the nations around. So therefore, even though he lives in Ammon, he's not an Ammoni. Therefore, מותר לבוא בקהל. He's allowed to come. כן?
זאת אומרת שאנחנו אמרנו רות המואבייה, היא באמת לא מואבייה.
היא לא, זה היה לפני סנחריב. לפני סנחריב. אז הגמרא וכל דפריש...
ואיך זה באמת שיהיה זה? איך זה שירות המואבייה באמת?
כי עמוני ולא עמונית. מואבי ולא מואבית. only the man. אמר לו רבן גמליאל, כבר נאמר, ואחרי כן להשיב את שיבות בני עמון, נאום השם, וכבר שבו. אמר לו רבי יהושע, ולא כבר נאמר, ושבתי שיבות עמו ישראל ועדיין לא שבו. מיד התירוהו. Right away the rabbis permitted יהודה לבוא בקהל. אמר רבן גמליאל, says רבן גמליאל, you know what? הואיל ואחי אבה, since this is the whole story, הזיל ויפייסה לרבי יהושע, let me go ask מחילה from רבי יהושע. תראה את הענווה של רבן גמליאל. He says, you know what? I have to go ask מחילה from him. הוא יותר מבוגר ממנו. אבל הוא אומר, אני צריך לבקש ממנו מחילה. מה? He made them stand up, the whole class. שכחת כבר?
לא, אז זה היה.
מה זה אז? זה הסיפור. כל הסיפור זה זה.
רגע, מי רוצה לבקש?
רבן גמליאל wants to ask רב מחילה for רבי יהושע that said ערבית is רשות. And רבן גמליאל made them stand up and everybody got upset. And they took him off and then this is the whole story. אז רבן גמליאל אומר עכשיו, you know what, after this whole story, let me go ask מחילה from רבי יהושע after what I did to him. אז הוא הלך, כי מתה לביתה, אמר לחזינו להשיטה דביתה דמשכן. ראה את כל הבית שחור. He saw the whole house black. From the, how do you call this? From the smoke, you know, from the chimney, from the smoke. So the whole wall is black. אין לו כסף לעשות paint. לא היה לו כסף לעשות paint, רבי יהושע. אמר לו, מכותלי ביתך אתה ניכר שפחמי אתה. What? הוא אומר לו, מה אתה? You're working in, you're making calls? כן? אמר לו, אוי לדור שאתה פרנסו. Listen, it's the first time you come to my house. איך אתה, בתור הרב, never came to visit me? So only now you understand that Rabbi Yeshua is poor? All those years that he was with you, you never asked him, do you need money for Shabbat? Do you need help for the holidays? You need... כל כך הרבה שנים עברו, עכשיו that you went to ask him מחילה, אז הוא אומר לו, אוי לדור שאתה הפרנס שלו. What? You don't know what your students are all about? You don't know this student needs money, this student needs help. You have to know your students. As he was telling him. He says, אמר לו, נהניתי לך, מחול לי. תמחל, לא אשכח בי, לא מחל לו. He didn't care. עשה בשביל כבוד אבא. You know what? אתה מכיר את אבא שלי, נכון? רבן שמעון בן גמליאל. תעשה בשביל אבא שלי, תעשה בשביל הכבוד של אבא שלי. In the honor of my father. סליחה, I think I skipped some, no?
כן.
לא. שאתה פרנסו, שאתה יודע בצערן שאתם נלחמים. במה מתפרנסים? ובמה הם נזונים? אמר לו, נהניתי לך, כן, לכל לי, לא אשכח בי. עשה בשביל כבוד אבא פייס. יפה. אז הוא התפייס. אמרו, מה נזל ולמה לא רבנן? אמר לו, ההוא כובס, ענה הזילנה. עכשיו, מישהו צריך להגיד לחכמים. Somebody has to go to tell the rabbis שרבן גמליאל went to the house of Rabbi Yeshua, asked them מחילה, and they made peace. Somebody has to go to tell this לחכמים, שלא יחשבו כאילו רבן גמליאל, that's it. No. Somebody has to know that they made shalom.
אז זה משנה.
אז It's very important. They should know that עכשיו יש שלום, ושלא יסתכלו עליו. אתה ביישת אותו, you embarrassed them. You should know that הם שם בשלום. כן? זה חשוב. הוא לא, he's not going to come and say, תודים, הלכתי אליו. לא, זה לא כבוד. הוא בן אדם מכובד.
הוא לא צריך להביא 10 אנשים ש...
לא צריך 10. אם הוא לא מוכן לך... לא, אם הוא לא מוכן, אתה מביא 3.
הוא לא מוכן.
הוא מחל לו בסוף. פייס.
פעם
שנייה מחל לו. פעם ראשונה לא מחל.
פעם שלישית אתה מביא 3.
נכון? עכשיו אומר לך פה, it says over here, so הכובס, there was the laundry maker, the launder, right? The one who makes the כביסה של העיר, he says, I'm going to go, אני אלך. שלח להוא רבי יהושע בית מדרשה, מן דלביש מדע ילבש מדע, ומן דלביש מדע, יאמר לי למן דלביש מדע, שלח מדעך. עכשיו רבי יהושע, תראה מה הוא עושה. He sends a message to חכמים. the one that has the habit to wear the jacket should continue wearing the jacket. And the one that does not have the habit to wear the jacket should take it off. ראשון לציון, נכון יש לו גלימה מיוחדת? Same thing, רבן גמליאל had גלימה מיוחדת, אבל הורידו לו את זה. They took it off. They gave it to רבי אלעזר בן עזריה. רבי יהושע made peace with רבן גמליאל. אז מה הוא אומר? הוא אמר לחכמים, תשמעו, now I made peace with him, so forgive him. Give him back his glima, his cape. Give him back his cape. He has the habit to wear this cape. His father, his grandfather, תחזירו לו את הקייפ. אז מה חכמים יגידו עכשיו? What are they going to say? They gave already the cape to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. It's not nice to take it away. Okay? So they said, okay?
Why didn't he just say it straight up? Why did he make?
Because Chachamim always speak in a chida, in the metaphoric way. Okay, metaphoric. He says over here. So Amar lu Rabbi Akiva leRabban, Amar se Rabbi Akiva aktzet Rabbanan, teroko gale. Close the doors of Bet HaMidrash. דלא לתו עבדי רבן גמליאל וצרו רבנן. רבן גמליאל לא היו הרבה עבדים. But you know the עבדים, the servants of those גדולים, sometimes they're not so nice. So if they're not going to give back the cape to רבן גמליאל, they're going to come and beat up חכמים. אז רבי עקיבא אמר, תסגרו את הדלת, lock the door. lock the door, שהעבדים שלו לא יבואו ויתחילו להרביץ לחכמים, give him back his cape. כן? אז says the Gemara, אמר רבי יהושע, says רבי יהושע, מוטב דאקום ואזל ענה לגביו. רבי יהושע says, it's better me to go straight and not send a messenger. אתה טרף הבבא, he came, דפק על הדלת של חכמים, אמרו לו, מה זה? אמרו לו, מה זה בן מה זה יזה, ושאינו לא מה זה ולא בן מה זה, יאמר למה זה בן מה זה, ממך ממערה, ואפרך אפר מקלה. כן? He says again, the Kohen שמזה את מי חטאת. You know, a Kohen, if somebody is impure, מה הוא עושה הכהן? He takes the ashes of the red heifer, mixes with water, ואומר לטמא, אתה עכשיו טהור. It's a process of 7 days, the third day and the 7th day. מה זה בן מה זה? The Kohen that his father used to do it, and he used to do it, and he keeps people pure, should continue doing it. But the new Kohen that just now got the job, he should not continue doing it. Bekitzu, Rabbi Yeshua is coming back to Chachamim. Please bring back Rabban Gamliel and take off Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So they told them, it looks like you made peace with him. אמר לרבי עקיבא, רבי יהושע, התפייסת? You made shalom with him? כלום עשינו לה בשביל כבודך. So why did we do the whole big deal over here? It's for you. So now you're coming to us and telling us, no, put everything back to place? עשינו הכל בשבילך, we did everything for you. אז למחר אתה, אני ואתה נשכין לפתחו. So let's go tomorrow, me and you, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yeshua, to go to the house of... איך נעביד? How are we going to do it? נעברה, גמירי מעלים בקודש ואין מורידים. Once you put him up there, you cannot bring him down. Once you put Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah up there, how are you going to put him down? Okay? נדרוש מר חדה שבתה, ומר חדה בשבתה. So you know what we're going to do? Let Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah say the drasha one Shabbat. He is going to be the rabbi one Shabbat. And the next week, Rabban Gamliel the rabbi. Chetzi. Okay? So they say, no, atul lekanuye. They're going to be jealous. Oh, pitom, all of a sudden, it's Shabbat, let's say, Zachor. So we have more Dvar Torah, more halachot. So Rabban Gamliel is going to say, no, this Shabbat. But you said last Shabbat. No, I want to see Shabbat. It's going to be machloket. So you know what we're going to do? They said, Ela, lidrosh Rabban Gamliel tlata shabbate. Rabban Gamliel is going to be the rabbi for 3 weeks. He's going to say the shiurim. He's going to say the halachot. He's going to say everything for 3 weeks. And Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah chad shabbata. Okay? And Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah one Shabbat. Because at the end of the day, Rabban Gamliel used to do that. So he took it away from him. So take some of it, not all of it. Now, that's why when you're going to see in Talmud, Shabbat של מי הייתה? Whose Shabbat was it? מה הכוונה? And they say, oh, it was Shabbat of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Why are they asking this question? They're asking this question because they didn't know, whoever didn't come didn't know who is there, Rabban Gamliel or Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Okay? Yafe. Now, wake up, comes the punchline. Okay, sometimes in the Talmud, in מסכת חגיגה, מסכת תעניז, שבת של מי הייתה? מה זה שבת של מי הייתה? תלמידים שלו באו, asked the תלמידים that went, מי היה הרב השבת? Who was the rabbi this Shabbat? או רבי אלעזר בן עזריה. Because since it was 3-1, 3 weeks Ryan, so they didn't know who, if you didn't come to Beit HaMidrash, you didn't know who was the rabbi that Shabbat. So Shabbat של מי הייתה? If you see this question in Talmud, they're asking it because they were not sure who is the rabbi. Comes the punchline now, listen to this. מי היה אותו תלמיד? מי היה התלמיד ששם את האש? מי זה היה אותו תלמיד שהלך? ask רבי יהושע, ערבית. optional? אמר לו optional. הלך רבן גמליאל, optional או obligation? obligation. Oh, but he told me optional. עשה בלגן, they took off רבן גמליאל, they looked for a rabbi, התחיל בלגן, עכשיו צריך להחזיר אותו. זה רק התלמיד הזה, אם לא היה, אם היה שותק והולך, if he would be quiet and go away, לא היה כל הגמרא הזאת. מי היה אותו תלמיד? Who was the תלמיד? רגע, תגיד לי, מה אכפת לך? אתה גם רוצה להגיד לשון הרע עכשיו? הוא עשה לשון הרע, אז גם אתה צריך, he made לשון הרע. You have to say לשון הרע. says the גמרא, מי היה אותו תלמיד? Listen carefully. רבי שמעון בן יוחאי אבה. זכותו יגן עלינו. רבי שמעון בר יוחאי. תגיד לי, איך אתה מבין את הדבר? רבי שמעון בר יוחאי עשה את הבלגן הזה? איך יכול להיות? אתם מבינים מה קורה פה? מה התשובה? אם לא באת לשמוע דבר זה, דייך. רב בן איש חי בספר רב פעלים. בגמרא, יש גמרא, אומרת, the Gemara says, רב had a dream that he's going to become the chief rabbi. He came to his rabbi, רבי חייא. רבי חייא אמר, מה? You're thinking, I'm the chief rabbi and you're thinking to become the chief rabbi? אני לא מוכן לך. Get out of Israel. תעוף מישראל. Get out of ישראל. לא רוצה למחול לך. It's only a dream. זה רק חלום. It's only a dream. העיף אותו. אמר לו, אני לא מוכן. לא מחל לו. לא נתן לו לחזור לישראל. Till רבי חייא passed away, only then Rav returned and became the chief rabbi. אומרת הגמרא, למה? למה הוא עשה את זה? Why did he do that? ולמה הוא עשה את זה? אם הוא היה מוחל לו, if he would have forgive him, רב חייא had to die, so Rav can become the chief rabbi. רב חייא didn't want to die. So he made a way that he's not forgiving him, he kicked him out of Israel, so he cannot become the chief rabbi. אומר הרב בן איש חי, רבן גמליאל had to die. אז מה קרה? בא רבי שמעון בר יוחאי עם הצדקות שלו, and he wanted to save רבן גמליאל. זה לא בלגן הוא עשה, הוא הציל את החיים של רבן גמליאל. Why? כשהוא עשה את המחלוקת הזאת, and they took off רבן גמליאל, he gave him long life, because not, it was the time for רבי אלעזר בן עזריה to become the chief rabbi. So if he would have stayed the chief rabbi, Rabbi Gamliel, he would die earlier, so Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah can become the rabbi. עכשיו, so עכשיו את המחלוקת, now he went to this one, asked him a question, went to this one, asked him a question, he made the מחלוקת, חכמים, the rabbis came, 4,200 students came, all balagan, he says, okay, while we put it up, we cannot put him down, so 3 weeks he prolonged the life of Rabban Gamliel. That's why the Gemara is telling us, מי היה אותו תלמיד חכם? Who is this wise תלמיד שראה את הנולד? He saw what's upcoming and he was able to make, prolong, להאריך את הימים של רבן גמליאל. מי זה? The one and only רבי שמעון בן יוחאי, זכותו יגן עלינו. בר יוחאי נמשך